is up, Wizards? Mooner is back. And today, alright, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Mooner. I do content all based around Wizards, the Wizard class of Flesh and Blood, Icelander, Kano, and even good old Emperor. If you're already a long-standing fan of the channel or whatnot, thank you so much for all the support and everything. And just strap yourselves in, because this is probably going to be one of my long-form videos. You guys know me for some extremely long-winded, long-form videos. I like to talk about stuff and things and all that funny shit. Anyways, a couple caveats real quick. This is going to be a tier list, but do not put any like serious what's the word I'm looking for, like, don't put any serious credence into this. This is like just my thoughts and ramblings on where I think the Blitz meta is right now, going into Skirmish Season 7, and what I think is going to happen. I do play a lot of Blitz. It's not my favorite format by a long stretch, but I do play a lot of Kano and a lot of Emperor in Blitz, and I play against a lot of heroes. Anyways, so I'm not saying I'm an expert on Blitz, far from it, but I do want to share my thoughts and baubles upon where I think the Blitz format is right now, especially considering LSS just made this huge, gigantic change to the Blitz format, where they added one more card and a sideboard. So, and if you've been living under a rock, you can now have your hero and 52 cards instead of 51. And of those 52 cards, they can be your equipment and any number of other cards. And so you can have a sideboard, a transformative sideboard, and you can play more than 40 cards in a deck. So because of this, I think this shakes things up quite a bit in the Blitz format, but I don't think it's as impactful as a lot of people are saying it is, because we still need equipment, and equipment is still a huge deal, and having like 11, now 12 slots that you can dedicate towards equipment only leaves you with like 2 or 3, maybe 4 sideboard slots, 4 extra cards that you could play. But because of this, I do think a lot of things are going to change in the Blitz format, and I do think it's going to shake up Blitz tremendously this season. And I do think that it was pretty targeted towards Kano, as well as maybe some other decks. But I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that Levia, her transformative hero card, wouldn't be playable in that Blitz format without the addition of like a sideboard, or an inventory as they call it. So without the addition of the inventory, you wouldn't be able to Levia Redeemed or the Plasma Effect Consumed thing. So that just wouldn't be possible. So I think in order to do that, they had to change it this way. And also, they wanted to kind of target Kano a little bit, because, let's face it, he was the best Blitz deck. In the hands of a skilled pilot, there wasn't much that could really defeat Kano. So if you read that whole announcement, they even laid it all out, like, oh, Kano's been bothering you, oh fuck you, just put some fucking Oasis for Spites in and blah blah blah, you're an awesome deck builder now, ha ha ha. Anyways, I do think it changes a lot of things, but I think that it is not going to be as impactful as it is. So anyways, I wanted to make this little Blitz tier list, and at the end of this video, if you stick around for it, I am going to go over my Kano Blitz list and where I think that it's going to head and what direction based upon where this tier list ends up. So as you can see, I have 4 different categories, including not including LL. So let's just start with the LL category, the Living Legend. We have Icelander. Where are they all at? This is not in any particular order here. We have Odom. He's somewhere around here, right there. and then we have good old Viserai. They are all living legend and unplayable in Blitz. If you are unfamiliar with that, they are not playable in Blitz at all. So don't bring them to your skirmish, or do for the memes and, you know, be disqualified. Haha, I don't care. Anyways, then we have our next category up, which is memes. These are decks that I think are memes and should not be played unless you are just memeing. Get it? Then we have our Dark Horse category, and these are decks that I think, in the hands of a really skilled pilot, if you really know what you're doing, these are decks that can perform well. It can probably get you into a top 8 and maybe even do a little better. And then we have the can spike category, and these are decks that I think are very, very good, A or low S tier decks. I think that these decks in the hands of an extremely skilled pilot could definitely win you a skirmish. And then we have the watch out for tier, and these are the decks that you have to be prepared for. These are the decks that have the highest potential to be winning skirmishes in the hands of good pilots, and you either need to have a plan for them or you need to be playing these decks. So let's just to get a frame of reference, let's just pick one for each category. So for the memes category, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think we're gonna go ahead and put Cavdane there, and we might as well just fill it out with Janet's what you need. I think these are just straight up meme decks, and there is no reason anybody should be playing these decks other than to just troll your local skirmish. And if that's the case, then more power to you. Troll the fuck away. Then we have the Dark Horse decks. These decks I think are good, but they have some weaknesses. But if you get gem paired, well, if gem is in your favor and things like that. Oh, we also forgot Data though. She's a meme too. Yeah. The Dark Horse decks, I'm gonna go ahead and put Valda in there. I think Valda is a Dark Horse deck, just to give like kind of a frame of reference. And another one, I'm going to put Azalea. I think Azalea is also a Dark Horse deck in the hands of a really skilled pilot. She could do pretty well, but she struggles into a lot of the top of the meta. So that's why I'm going to put her in a Dark Horse. Let's find a could spike, can spike. It can spike. This is going to be a shock to you guys all, but I think Yoji can spike now. So let me elaborate on this a little bit. With the addition of the transformative sideboard and with the addition of being able to play more than 40 cards, like you can run 4 pieces of armor and run 48 cards if you want. There's no rule against that now. So I think that we're going to see a huge spike in fatigue decks. I think fatigue decks are going to be a major problem this skirmish season. I've already seen some popping up. I've seen some like fatigue decks in places you wouldn't expect to see them, like heroes, I mean. But I think Yoji, having a massive health pool and a stack of blues and a bunch of Oasis Respites and things like that, I think he can definitely fatigue a lot of people out. So that kind of deck, if you're not prepared for it, could definitely spike a tournament. And then let's just go with the watch out, and it's going to be no shock to anybody where I'm going to put Kano right at the top of the watch out. Kano is, in my opinion, still the best Blitz deck. With this new addition of people being able to just shove Oasis Respites and Arena's Prayer and whatever else you want to in there in order to goon Kano, it is going to slow him down a little bit, and it is going to prevent him from just rolling every tournament with a good Kano pilot. But there are ways around it. I mean, Oasis Respite isn't the end of the world. These aren't wildfire combo days. This is more like tempo based with some small combos at the end. So, you know, your Oasis Respite's only going to prevent you, you know, save you a little bit of life, and it's not going to save the day all the time. So I think Kano is still a watch out for deck. I think if you are not playing Kano, you definitely have to have a plan into Kano, and you should definitely be prepared to see him at the top tables. So let's just go over some of the rest of these heroes here and why I think they fall where they fall. I think Chain is in the watch out category. Chain got a couple good tools. I am not a huge Chain player, but the people I know that do play Chain are excited for some of the new cards that he had got, and he was already a pretty scary hero in Blitz if you're not prepared for him. But like I said, there are going to be a lot of fatigue decks running around out there, and there are going to be a lot of spell void and things like that, and a lot of ways to disrupt Chain. But I think he is still a watch out for deck. I think you need to be prepared for Chain. The next hero that I want to talk about in the could spike category is going to be let's go ahead and we're gonna put Prism Advent of Thrones. Prism, even though she starts at a very low excuse me, life total, she still has access to Luminaris, and she still has access to a lot of new cards and some shenanigans. And I think you need to just watch out for Prism. I think you need to watch out for both Prisms. They definitely have the anti-fatigue package, and they definitely have the ability to thwart the Wizards and the Rune Blades. Although they aren't really prepared to deal with hyper fast decks. Prism Advent of Thrones starts at 16 life, and 16 life is turn 0 kill range for Kano. So, but Ward can totally goon anybody if at instant speed. So I think that both Prisms are in the could spike category. Another could spike category participant is going to be both the Dories. I already think the Dories are very good. I think that in the hands of really good pilots, they can do very, very well. They do struggle into Kano, and they do struggle into Chain, but they can pretty much crush just about anybody else. They are the best mid-range tempo decks out there. They have a fridge, and they play plenty of blues, and this whole transformative sideboard thing is going to really it's going to really make things interesting. But somebody I see on here twice, but I'm going to put him in the watch out for category, is Emperor. I'm not going to tell you guys why, but Emperor is especially with the addition of a few extra cards and a transformative sideboard, and some new additions to his pool. Emperor is a force to be reckoned with. The fact that he is restricted to only red cards is it is not as detrimental as most people think. A lot of people are dissuaded from the hero because they think he's kind of a meme, but I think you really, really need to watch out for a good Emperor pilot, and I think there's going to be a lot of Emperors that are going to try to spike a lot of tournaments, and I think you need to be prepared for the Wizards. He is a wizard. He has access to Stormstriders, and he has access to some other shenanigans. He does kind of auto lose to Kano, so that's why I'm tempted to put him into the there's two of them on here, so let's just put him in the can spike category as well. I don't know why there's two of them on this list. There just is. I don't know, but he could, in the hands of a really, really good Emperor pilot, you need to watch out for, and I think you should just be prepared for him anyways. Spell Void, and just his ability to attack like a Rune Blade, just have access to both physical and arcane attacks, and have access to Stormstriders, means that he is a force to be reckoned with. Another one that I want to put in the watch out category is Kasai. Kasai with access to a sideboard is extremely scary. She's just extremely scary already, and there are some really, really good, really dedicated Kasai pilots out there, and you need to have a plan for Kasai, because she is one of the most value-oriented and efficient decks out there, and giving her the access to more blues or Oasis Respites or things like that, I think you need to have a plan for Kasai for sure, because she has a plan for you. I'm sure of it. Someone I'm going to put in the dark horse category is going to be Dromai. I don't really think Dromai has what it takes to be at the top tables, but she can definitely make some people's lives miserable. She's just, if she's more played as like a red line aggro deck, then she's going to do a lot better than if she tries to play control. Blitz is just too fast. But could spike. We're going to put Reinar in there. Reinar got some new tools. He got some new toys. And in fact, I'm going to put him pretty high on the can spike. And I want to move these guys down a little bit. Prism, Advent of Thrones. And I think I'm going to put Dory above them. Dark Horse, I'm going to put Vincent in Dark Horse. I've played against her a lot in CC and a little bit in Blitz. She's quite an easy matchup for Kano in Blitz, but I don't really know how she fares into the rest of the meta. Her IPing herself and using her own life as a resource kind of seems like a silly thing to do when she only starts at 20 life. So I don't really know where that's going to go. I think that I'm going to have to put Riptide at the bottom of the Dark Horse because this new change definitely hurts him quite a bit. This really targets... Yeah, he was even mentioned in the article as well. But this targets Riptide, and that's a shame because Riptide did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong, and I hate to see that. Honestly, I do. Lexi. Lexi is going to be a good spike. She has all the tools that she has in Classic Instructed, and I think that the more ice-focused Lexi lists are going to do a little better. But she is still a really strong, really good deck. She still has access to Codex and all that other fun stuff, and 3 of a Kind, and Rain Razors, and Art of War, and she can just deal 25 to 30 damage in one turn if the stars align. Watch out, Dash. Dash, I think she kind of belongs right about here. I think that the top of the meta looks pretty much exactly like this. I think these are the 5 best decks in Blitz right now. I think Kano, Dash, Chain, Kasai, and you guys are not going to believe me, but Emperor is up there too. I think these are the 5 best decks, and I think you need to have a plan for every single one of them if you want to be that could spike kind of guy or girl or they or them. Next, I want to talk about Levia. I think Levia is at the very tippy top of the could spike, and she is maybe at the very bottom of the watch out. Levia doesn't have to kill herself anymore, and she has massive big attacks, and she has a lot more access to go again too. She's got a lot more tools. Levia is a force to be reckoned with, and I think that, in fact, I'm gonna put her up there with the you better have a plan for Levia, because she is no longer one of those decks that you just are like, oh, just block her out until she kills herself, or I'll just disrupt her until she kills herself. And Shadow got access to that whole suite of armor that just like basically says prevent 2 damage or spell void or just anything, and it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. She can run spell void 8 if she wants to, and Carrion Husk, and she's just, I think that she is the 6th member of this watch out category, and if I wouldn't be surprised if we see Levia winning quite a few skirmishes, but she is a very difficult hero to play, I will say that. Zuri is in the can spike, and I think she's kind of firmly in the middle of the can spike. She's not quite fast enough, and she's not quite defensive enough, but there are some fatigue builds out there that are just going to jam a whole bunch of more cards in there, and they're going to jam Oasis, and they're going to jam Drone of Brutality, and they're just going to try to fatigue you out. So watch out for that. Keep an eye on Azuri. She's in the can spike. I think Shiana is a dark horse. I would keep your eye on Shiana. She's like, I haven't played Shiana in a couple sets, but a couple sets ago she was just a couple cards away from being cracked, and that might just be now. She just got a whole shitload more to specializations, and I haven't toyed around with her myself, but I know there are plenty of people who do and who will, and I know they are going to bring her to a tournament, and she could be that dark horse that you just really need to watch out for. Like, imagine just like getting hit with a Starstruck, or her new specialization just rips a Crippling Crush out of your hand, and she Crippling Crushes you for 2 resources. It's just pretty insane. I expect to see some pretty nutty things, and in fact I wouldn't be surprised if she takes a tournament. She is definitely probably higher up in the dark horse category. I think good old Azuri is just about as close to the bottom of dark horse as possible. He might even be in the meme tier. Arachne Solitary Confinement is at the bottom of the could spike tier, maybe there in the dark horse tier. He just doesn't have enough power. But there are some diehard Arachne players out there. Fi. A lot of people forget about Fi, but he could definitely spike. Don't forget about Fi. Ira. Fatigue Ira is a thing. And Fatigue Ira is a scary thing. Katsu. Katsu might be the best. Excuse me. The best aggro deck right now. He probably out aggroes Lexi if he rolls hot. So he could definitely spike a tournament. You should probably keep an eye on him. Bravo is a dark horse. There's going to be some Bravo stands out there, some diehard Bravo stands that are going to just try to fatigue you out. But he's still a dark horse. KO is probably at the top of the meme tier. The last 2 heroes I want to talk about are Briar. Briar can just still do silly channel mod heroic things, but I think there are other decks out there that are doing more powerful things than Briar is currently. I think that, there's more armor out there. There are faster decks. Briar is still Briar, but she just never seems to put up the results that everybody wants her to do. So let's just put her at the bottom of the could spike category. And the last hero I wanted to talk about, and I saved him for last, is Bolton. Bolton is at the very tippy top of the could spike tier. I have seen quite a few different builds of Blitz Bolton right now. I have seen a crazy fatigue Blitz Bolton build. I've seen this combo Hatchets build. I've seen this just value Raiden build. Bolton is a big question mark in my eyes, but I think that a really, really good Bolton pilot could definitely spike a tournament and could definitely do really well. In fact, I played against a Fatigue Bolton the other day that was running Oasis, Spell Void 2, and AB3 and just ran me out of cards and made my life miserable. And there are going to be decks out there that are going to try to do that. And so that's like my whole point of saying, be prepared for these top decks up here in the watch out, have a plan. And I think Fatigue is a very valid plan. But that's where I kind of see the Blitz meta looking like right now. And this is all speculative, obviously. I don't know how this new change to Blitz is really going to shake things out. But let's talk about, like I said, let's get into my Kano list that I'm going to be taking. So my main suite of weapons and equipment hasn't changed, but I am considering adding. This is not set in stone. This is just kind of a rough draft right now, but I am considering adding an Oasis, because if everybody else is going to put an Oasis in their sideboard, then why the fuck shouldn't I? So there goes an Oasis. This I need to remove. That was just a meme. That was a joke. So let's go to edit and get that Aetherize out of there, because as cute as it is to Aetherize an Oasis, you just have to have your E-pots out and all this other stuff, and it's just not really a reality. I don't what the fuck did I remove? I thought I just removed that. Remove. I'm trying to remove that, but I also want to add in. I need to find room for 2 Tome of Findals, because is my fucking pen not working? What is going on here? Hold on. Cannot open the page. What kind of son of bullshit is this? Seems like my internet went out. Okay, what I'll do is I'll make another video on my Blitz Kano list that I am working on, including all these changes. Sorry about that. Anyways, I hope this was informative or fun. If you like this at all, give me a comment. Let me know where you guys all think Blitz is going to be. Let me know what you are going to be playing this skirmish season. Hopefully it's not some fatigue bullshit list, because that's not fun for anyone. And like, comment, subscribe. I do Wizard content constantly. This is a Wizard channel. This whole tier list was based around, it had the backbone of Wizard. Anyways, I'm Lunar. Peace out, Wizard.